Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. And this is an M41 howitzer motor carriage I should say. And that's also known as the Gorilla. And there weren't that many of these built during the Second World War. They only built 85 of them. And this one is on the south spawn of Murovanka, and it's being commanded by Marybanks of FILO. And battle is underway. Now Mary's got a 155mm howitzer to play with, and the M41 is built on the chassis of a Chaffee tank, so it's reasonably quick, as quick as it can be, with a such a heavy gun on it. And the M41 is unusual because the engine was actually moved into the centre, and the driver just behind the driver's compartment, so the crew would actually have to hang on to the vehicle. Any handhold they could grab hold of. Now she's aiming at the forest, but there was nobody there, nobody visible, because everybody's headed over to the west. And she's got a Churchill 3 there and a T67. The T67 is hiding behind the tower. Ah, now it's two big targets you can fire out here, an OI and a KV1. Now, much easier to hit those targets, but the problem with the M41 is you do need a gun laying drive to dial in the aim quickly. And although it's got a fairly wide field of fire, if you haven't got 100% crew, it does take a little while for them to dial in the aim. Okay, now she had to move the vehicle there to re-aim at the Churchill 3. And she's got him on the edge of the field of fire. And she fires around him, but it goes long. Okay, she's reoriented to cover the tanks that are over on the far east side of the battlefield. And she's pulled back a little bit because there is a Churchill who's actually getting fairly close. Not that he's within view range yet, but he will be if he gets a bit closer. Hiding behind that building at the moment. Now Marybanks is trying to line up a shot so she can splash him, because that 155mm howitzer can splash. It's pulling back. No, he's staying behind that house. And Marybanks has decided she's going to go for the KV1 and the OI experimental. She can hit them. They're forming a line, or rather they're going backwards and forwards to a firing point. Now, can she catch them together? Best way for the OI, and then the shell might go long into the KV1 once they're together. But she's going to hit the KV1. And she gets a direct hit on his engine bay. 164 hit points, 2 critical hits, and she's relocating straight away. Now, I think that's a wise decision because her teammates, there's only 2, basically, and the tank destroyer, defending against the Magic Forest, and the enemy's got 4 tanks in the Magic Forest. Now, no results to that one, except that she stunned the Churchill. Okay, repositioning. Now she has got a bit closer to the Churchill, so she does need a bit of protection between her and the Churchill. And unfortunately they just lost 2 tanks, one of which was a KV1S. And they just lost the Strib 42 as well, which means that there is nothing between Mary and these enemy tanks coming in from the Magic Forest. So she needs to move. She's fired at where she thought the M44 was. M4, not M44. She's going to have to go through that building because it's got a very bad turning circle, the M41. Slow to move about. It's got 2 Cadillac engines in this machine. Only generates 220 horsepower though. That's why it's so slow. And oh, she's just been hit by the Excelsior coming in, and yeah, unfortunately this is what happened. The team has collapsed, and although they're only down by 2 tanks, the fact is there's nobody between Mary and those enemies, and so they're going to spot her before she can spot them. Her view range isn't that great, and so she's trying to reverse into cover because it is slow to traverse. And she knocked that tree down as she went, which obviously also tells the enemy where she is. Her team are down by 3 tanks now. And the only tank she's got with her to spot for her is the TD. And the enemy's in the cap. So he is fairly close by. Ah, but he came out the cap, which means he was only passing through. Now I suspect that's probably that M4 that we saw earlier. And he's got 2 kills already, so he's probably coming to try and get more. And there he is, he's actually close. Oh, it's a Type T34. And he's taken out by the TD. And because Marybanks was the one who spotted him, she gets the spotting damage. Only 104 hit points, but it is something. And she thanked the TD for the save. Right, there's the M4. And he is close. She's trying to do a manual shot, but no, she didn't let the aim settle. You need to let the aim settle, unfortunately, with the M41, and let it contract a little just to get the dial in. And again, she's using overhead view, but she's scrolling it in, not going directly to the target. Okay, dialed in on the M4 and round out. Now she gets a hit. That's good. 149 hit points, 2 critical hits. Not having a go at her aiming though. She does know how to aim, but it's just unfortunately sometimes things like don't seem obvious that, you know, when you're shotgunning something, you do need to let the aim steady before you shoot. Okay, dialed in again on the M4, and this time she gets a kill shot. 70 hit points, and she did let that settle, you see. So it worked, but there's still somebody in the cap, and T67 is going to have to go forward and have a look. She's still reloading, but she hasn't got long. Almost there. I reckon he's probably behind that bush, but... she just lost the T67. It was a Leopard, and she did hit him! 65 hit points. Now, if she can get another 5, she's going to get a Defender medal at the very least. But I doubt he'll stay behind that bush anymore. If anything, I'd say go to the other bush. In fact, probably I'd throw caution to the winds. Ah, yes, a bush went down over to the north. Now go to the other bush. That's it, Mary. That's it, because he's up there. No, not to that one. The other. No. Oh, that's probably the last one she'll get a chance to. The enemy will be homing in on her very, very quickly. She can't see the enemy tanks, but I'm sure that they are on the way. And he's in the bush there. He's in that bush. That's where he was. But I think he's probably moved now after seeing that round come in. Oh, she did get him again. She reduced capture points again by 53, which means she did hit him. And I think that means she's got the Defender medal. She's the last person standing against 5 enemy, but the chances for pulling off a collarband off are fairly slim with this particular Arty. And yeah, the enemy has moved this time. He knows not to be in the bushes. And there's the enemy tanks. As I said, they were homing in. And there's the Excelsior. And he's hit her. And he'll hit her again very shortly. Yep. And there you go. So, good defense. She did the best she could. But she didn't have a very good team around her. And they sort of like let her down. She continued to fight even when she was on her own. And that shows that she's got the courage to continue fighting. Now, most other Arty, most tank drivers, they would try to drown themselves. Not Mary, no, and not any other Arty player that, a good Arty player. We continue to fight. We carry on fighting right to the bitter end. We make the enemy pay. So, well done, Mary, but sadly it was a loss. So let's have a look at the results. It's a third-class tanker for Marybanks in the M41 HMC. She also picked up a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. She got 6 in that one. And yes, she did pick up a Defender. She got an epic medal. She managed to reduce the cap points by at least 70. I think she probably popped up 100 actually on that one, but we'll see in a short while. Right, now she got the highest amount of damage, 858 hit points, mostly when she was actually aiming nicely overhead and letting the aim settle, and it really worked. She managed to get 1 kill, that was the M4, and she did that nicely as well. She got it over 2 hits. And when it came to base XP, 282, which is not bad considering she was on the losing side, but this is where it will all count. Fired 11 rounds, got 4 direct hits, 4 penetration, 2 splash, damage of 858 hit points, of which 639 were at more than 300 meters. She received 3 hits, and they were all penetrations, 2 of which were from the Excelsior, 1 was from the KV-1. She hit 4 of the enemy, but killed 1 of them. But she did damage resistance of 104 hit points, and she caused 5 stuns. And yes, she did get 100 defense points. The system will only record a maximum of 100, but she did get the maximum, and that awarded her the Defender Medal, which means she gets the Courageous Resistance Award, or what they call achievements. So on a premium account, she received 19,794 credits, and she gets the extra compensation of 5,263 credits because she won an epic medal on the losing side. So that bumps her scores up with that of the winning team. She received a total of 25,058 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, she took away 17,910. She received 423 XP, and she gets the Courageous Resistance Award there as well for 279 XP, and that brings her total to 702, which is not a bad total anyway. So yes, although she did her best, I'm afraid it was not good enough because the team let her down. They folded and left Mary all alone to continue the fight. So well done for doing that, Mary. That shows you are a true Arty player. You fight to the death. Well done. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully your replay will be our next video.